So this is my first look at Animaze, which is the successor to Facerig. Facerig came out a couple of years ago. It was a pretty cool program, but I didn't see any development moving forward after it. So looking at the settings, we have general settings to hide the watermark. And again, this is the beta version. There are some key shortcuts that you can use, and again, this program is as of the first day of them releasing beta keys for testing. So a lot of these features might be paid or might not be free or available to the public once this software is released. But everything is fully functional. The currency inside this is also beta, so any purchases made here are not with real money. Overall, it seems pretty functional. So again, it's the successor to Facerig, and Facerig did essentially the same thing, but I never saw any real use on YouTube channels aside from first impressions. Allegedly, this uses a superior engine, so it tracks your face better to create movements and gestures, and it even comes with animations. But the best thing about this software is that it lets you import your own character models, your own 3D models. If you know how to animate or Blender or any of that stuff, it does let you import it. So again, here are some of the avatars. We have a little Simba looking character. So you click it and then you have to click confirm, or else it won't load. And there are a lot of loading screens for this, even to change the background. So I'm imagining it must be taking up a significant video card usage. Again, it's a little Simba guy. He has a little animation. And the great thing is that it does do a really good job at capturing face motions. So your smiles, your grins, your winks, even eyebrow movements. And again, I do see a significant improvement to that of Facerig. And again, I think it's amazing in that you can import your own character models, and this will also be available on mobile. Being that it will be made available on mobile, you're going to get a larger share of the market. And if you are allowed to upload your own character models and all of that, which I haven't tried, then this could be a huge game changer because of the customizability that is going to be introduced. And I think that was one of Facerig's most it was probably one of its bigger fallbacks, is that even though it was a pretty cool piece of software, it wasn't really accessible to the broader audience. It was really only those with gaming machines and things of that nature, and even then you are pretty limited at what you could do. But giving more accessibility to mobile users, phones being, having higher processing power and graphics power, and allowing us to customize every last detail, including uploading our own models. I think this has the potential to be a platform for creators, and I think it has a lot of promise to really kick off. And again, these are just the early stages, but Animaze really is a pioneer in what it does, and you don't really see a lot of other people doing that. Again, here we have our little shark friend, and he has four animations that you can use: Q, W, E, or R. And in a little while, we're also going to see some of the customizing options available here. Again, a lot of loading screens. We have our good friend here sticking out his tongue. Everything works. this little animation. And again, this software can be essentially a virtual camera. So if you're streaming on YouTube, or you're making a YouTube video, or if you're using OBS, or if you're anything like Twitch or Zoom, you can essentially use a virtual camera. So when you're in your Zoom meeting, your Skype meeting, or you're streaming, they can see your little avatar instead of you. And again, the backgrounds are fully customizable. These are the preset ones. I think they look pretty good. And again, they have props too, which are just so cool. I've never seen this level of customization in Facerig. Okay, so the top left, that's where it shows the camera that you're using, and it sees you speaking, and it's tracking your face. And this is our little friend Corey, which I think is a play on the pandemic events. He's kind of funny. He's kind of cute. So again, you can press Control C, so you keep a neutral face. You press Control C, and it will calibrate your expression. So if you're facing forward, no smile, just a laid back appearance, you hit Control C, you'll get calibrated, and you'll be good to go. And for the most part, it doesn't lose calibration as long as you're constantly using it. But if you step away from the camera and it stops tracking your face, you do need to recalibrate. So here are the customization options. So you have a few colors from the color palette, but the awesome thing is that they give you a color wheel. So you have full control over the exact color you want. You can enter the color code, and again, you have a very specialized control over certain colors and patterns. It's not just a blanket color everywhere. I kind of like the indigo blue, so that's what I'm going with. Very nice. He's looking very good. There's the tongue. And then again, you can control the head size. And obviously that works better with avatars with a body. This is just a floating head. And then eye color as well. I'm going with indigo. It looks like I decided to go with purple. Again, you have very fine control over the eyes, the blinking, and again, props. This is so awesome. There are so many more props to choose from, and at the moment, I don't believe you can upload your own prop models, but I'm sure they will add that in the future. Even then, there are more than enough props to play around here, and you can play with the size, with the colors, and again, each of these come with a color wheel, so you can be as meticulous as you want with your avatar modification. Just the level of detail over this is amazing. And again, it's not something I've seen with any other software, at least software that's accessible to your daily user. The animations, they work with the props as well, and you have control over the size and colors of the prop. Sometimes you can even control more than one color. So we have more bunny ears, crown, top hat, witch hat, microphone, headset, football helmet, jester, and I'm gonna go ahead and test and see if I can make this look like the Harley Quinn jester hat style. Of course, I'm gonna need a little bit of black, maybe a little bit of white, and a little bit of red, which also happened to be one of my favorite color combinations. It looks good to me. And now, if you wanted to save those settings, you have to hit save, but it's going to take you through another loading screen. So there are quite a few loading screens, and again, it's a very resource intensive program, I would imagine. Running a GTX 1080 with Ryzen 7 X 1800 and 32 gigabytes of DDR4 Corsair RAM. So I have a decent system. It's not high end, but it's definitely more than enough to handle something like this. But I can imagine if you're running a lower end machine, you would probably struggle a bit, especially with those loading screens. With my specs, it takes about maybe 2-3 seconds to get through those loading screens. Again, it's not a huge inconvenience. There are some games and MMOs out there that have longer loading screens, but oh, there we go. So if you want to save it, you have to hit save. But it's still a bit annoying that you have to go through these loading screens. Again, I counted like 4 or 5 seconds, anywhere between 3 to 5 seconds. So this model has probably been fixed by the time of this video, but that was Mr. Bill of Rights. And then this character model here was available on Facerig. And again, you have fine control over smiling, eyebrows, eyes. This one can't really wink. I think his eyes just squint. I love the angry face on this one. Again, Mr. Fluffo was also available on Facerig. So these are some Facerig classics that they are transferring over. Only now they come with their cool, cute animations here. So at the bottom right, I can either click Q or W to affect some of these animations. Some are really simple, some are more complex. And then here we go. Here are the backgrounds. I really like this one. Let's just test out a few more. And their style in Facerig, and it transferred over to Animaze, has basically been just bringing in a hide and then blurring it for that aesthetic look. But obviously, you don't have to do that. Here's one of their presets. It's not mine, and it has some blur to it, but for the most part, it's more of a standard painting. So in a few seconds here, I'm also gonna update one of mine. But first, I'm gonna go in through and show all the backgrounds. We have a nice prairie looking thing. We have a green screen, which is really useful if you want to do things with post editing, put in your own animations, or have your character blend in like a PNG file with your video view streaming. So that's what the green screen is for, I imagine. Sunny Bondo Park. I don't know if that's a famous location. And I really like this winter one. It's a painted landscape that's blurred. And it's not blurred through blurriness, but just through the aesthetic style. Okay, so this one's mine. I'm gonna go in and add my own image. And this is just one of my favorite. There's a new game that's coming out. It's kind of like Firewatch. So it takes place in the wilderness, and it's not out yet, but they have a lot of concept art, and it's one of my favorite wallpaper backgrounds. So I imported, and everything is looking good. So again, you don't have to use a blur style for your avatars, but even just looking at the edges of these avatars, you can kind of sort of tell that these guys have a slight blur on their edges. And again, I didn't see any setting in here to take that away. And I think it's to add to the aesthetic look. So it sort of looks like frosted glass would be my best description. And I will add that I did experience a few crashes while using the software. So it definitely is still in beta, and those beta keys are called beta keys for a reason. And then we're gonna go ahead and do some quick customization with Mr. Yogi the Bear here. Again, this guy has a really long tongue, very fine control over the eyes, the eyebrows, and some quick animations. He has his little cameo Hawaiian shirt to blend in the forest while he's on vacation. Let's try and do something interesting. How about let's try and make him purple here. But green looks like, oh, there we have some Barney colors. And let's stick with that. Again, you have fine control over just the head. Nose, I'm not too sure what that's about. I think that's resetting the size of the nose and the color palette, if that's something you want to do. So I guess in the future they'll be adding some customization options to the nose. And again, the level of customization is just amazing how you can change almost every color of his attire. And props. I want to try the mustache in a bit. Who doesn't like a bear with a mustache? There we go. He needs a bigger mustache. He's a big bear. Wow. The level of how big the mustache can get is freakishly weird. And again, I'm not saving anything just because you have to go through a loading screen. So this one's taking a little longer. There you go. He has one animation. He's adorable though. And again, just going back, it seems like the characters themselves have this like blurred glass effect, kind of like a frosty glass. You can change the background, but you can't quite take that blurriness away from the avatars themselves. And here we just have our floating head. Again, I just love the level of control that you have over the mouth, the eyes. The tracking on this is pretty good. And the webcam I'm using is only a 720p. So I don't think you need a lot for the tracking software to do its job here. So again, this would be the subscription model they have. You can see that you'll need a subscription if you want to use some of the phone features, but they do have a lot just for free users as well. And again, I had to cut that out because the program started to crash on me. So I'm gonna see if we can, a little bit later, see if we can try and buy some things just to demo that. And at this point, the program had crashed around 5 or 6 times. So I'm not sure if that had something to do with the increased loading times. And there we go, Danny the Wolf. He was also in Facerig and he got transferred over. And I really liked him, so I'm glad he's here. So I'm gonna skip forward and see what else we have. We have a little bit of Count Dracula. We have Taj. Ooh, I really like this guy. He looks so freaky. I decided I could make him even freakier. So I changed his color palette around. I think I chose some blacks, reds, and white. For me, all white looks very terrifying as well. I believe in Japan, white is the color of death. They don't wear black during funerals. For them, when someone dies, it's black. Fun fact. Red teeth. It looks like you murdered someone. I like a little bit of a darker red. I'm not too keen on the brighter reds. Oh, there we go. You can really change the size, not of the eyes themselves, but on the pupils. So I believe the outer portion of the eye stays black, but you can change the color of the pupil to be whatever you want. And again, that's not how human anatomy is. For humans, it would be all white, and it's our pupil that changes color. So to me, I always thought that black eyes with just a little dots for red looked pretty cool. Kind of like Hugh Barthon, the Reverse Flash in the DCAU. He has that style. So that's his animation. It's pretty trippy. And Halloween's coming up in a month or two, so yeah. And then Hatsune Miku. So this is how she's always looked on Facerig, but I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can make her look less anime-like and more normal. So unfortunately, fortunately you can edit the head size, but as of now, you can't edit Hatsune's eyes. And in general, I think that's because she's meant to be an anime character. But you do have fine control over other things, such as, her head size, mouth color, and all these details. And I'm trying to pick some neutral colors to make her look more generic, more human. So let me skip a bit ahead. There we go. I give her brown hair, brown eyes, brown dress, and there we go. That's the before and after. She doesn't really look like Hatsune Miku anymore. So you do have a fine level of control, which I think is awesome. George the Bomb. This guy is new, I believe. He's one of my favorites. So he has a mustache. I think he's a French. I feel like there's a stereotype in movies and media where pencil mustache French guys are always demolition experts. I feel like the animation for this guy would have been to explode. That was a real missed opportunity in my opinion. Mr. Eggplant here. I'm not even gonna try and explain what edit I tried to make here. Let's just skip that. Oh, really? Wow, that is subtle. Very subtle. Interesting. I'm starting to wonder what kind of things they would let through the YouTube filter if there are if you stand behind the idea that these are quote-unquote character models and not real images, that's going to be an interesting one. Okay. And here I tried to do something else. Not gonna. There we go. This guy's new as well. John, he's a little toilet. And these guys are more interesting, in my opinion. Because you always wonder how your eye blinking, your mouth movements affect their movement. Mr. Pig, I always hated the green pigs from Angry Birds. Okay, and you have these classics. These were also in Facerig. So these are just your flat 2D anime style. And in my opinion, these anime style avatars don't really capture as much of your face. So if you smile, they don't smile as much. If you stick out your tongue, it doesn't work. These are pretty cool, but they're a bit more static. And even here, they don't have any animations associated with them. So I'm guessing it's a little harder to, well, it is a little harder to animate a 2D picture than it is a 3D image. And that's about it, guys. Pretty cool stuff. Can't wait to see if they add some new things. Thank you.